Okay, good morning or good evening, depending on where you're logging into this meeting. I'm Dilo Blau. I'm the Director of the Office of International Services here at Pitt. I am joined by some of the rest of the members of the OIS team. Here you see all of the student team, and in addition, one of the assistant directors and the associate director. We are so happy that you've joined us today. To those of you who are new to the Pitt community, we extend a warm welcome to you and hope that you really find a home here at Pitt. To those of you who are continuing students, welcome back. As I'm sure you realize, this is not the way we normally conduct our welcome sessions in the spring semester. And frankly, it's not the way we would prefer doing them. We really wish that we could invite you to campus, serve you some good food, stand around and get to know you a little bit, provide information about the services that are on campus, maybe walk you around campus a little bit, talk to you about immigration regulations and all the other things that you might need to know. As it is, we really just want to take the time this morning to allow you to meet your immigration specialists here and hopefully at least begin to answer a few of your questions. We will have ongoing orientation sessions that we hope that you will participate in as the semester goes, and you'll learn a little bit more about them as the meeting goes on. So again, welcome, and I'm going to turn the meeting over to Sarah.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Jones. I'm the Associate Director in the Office of International Services. Welcome to our new students, welcome back to our current students. I just wanted to take a little bit of time to go over some of the highlights that you really do need to keep in mind as an international student. A lot of this information is in your pre-arrival checklist and on our website, but there's a few things that we just do want to go over. Before we do that, I'd like to get an idea of who's with us. So we're going to put up a couple of polls. Katie, you can go ahead and do that now. They should, to my knowledge, just appear on your screen and you can go ahead and answer them. Take a minute or two. And when we have those answers, Katie, you can post those as well. Okay, thank you. So you can see about half and half, new versus continuing students, graduate and undergraduate, and then let's see who's here. Okay, so about 60% is in the Pittsburgh area. A few of you are inside the United States, but not in Pittsburgh, and then about a third is outside the United States. Okay, so some of the information I'm going to give you will be a little bit different for people who are outside the United States versus inside, and I'll try and make that distinction. Most of the information is the same for grad and undergrad, except for enrollment. So because it's such a diverse group, if you walk away from this session with questions, like we said, please just email us later, or if you have a chance, we can maybe answer it today. But if you're confused at all, it's probably because things are in flux right now. So we'll do our best to make sure that we explain it. So again, just a couple of things. The purpose of this session is for you to meet your immigration specialist, but the few things that I wanted to go over are important for maintaining immigration status. So for those of you who are inside the United States, you should have an immigration document that we have issued to you. And it's important that you maintain that status, whether it's F or J. If you are outside the United States, you may also, if you're a continuing student, you may also have an F1 or J1 document. And because we're in a pandemic and there's special rules, you may be maintaining your status. And that's a little bit of a new scenario for all of us. Some of you are outside the country and maybe you are only enrolled part-time. That's fine, that's permitted. You may not have an immigration document. So the people who are maintaining an immigration status, F1 or J1, enrollment is always really important in order to do that. in general, you need to be enrolled full-time. So if you're a graduate student, you should be enrolled for 9 credits each term as a general rule of thumb. Undergrads are going to need to be enrolled for 12 credits. There are a few exceptions. If you have a medical issue and you cannot enroll, that's fine. You can talk to us about it. If it's your last term and you only need to take 1 class, that's fine. We can authorize that. We do have to authorize it though. And again, there's a special exception right now because we're in a pandemic that if you're outside the country and you just happen to be enrolled in part-time, that's okay, as you wouldn't have your immigration record active, but that's okay. You can still be a Pitt student without an immigration record if you're outside the country. So in general, something you need to just keep in mind every term is that you do need to be enrolled full-time. You do not have the ability to withdraw from a class in the middle of the term simply because you're not doing well. So just please talk to us if these kinds of things come up. Just come talk to us. We will go over your options. We will talk about timing. You are not the first student who's been in these situations. The second thing I want to really make clear is employment. So those of you who are inside the United States, employment is restricted. There are certain restrictions for people in F and J1 status. We can make it work sometimes for internships. And of course, on-campus employment is usually okay. Most times on-campus employment is not the issue. But anytime you're going to be doing something off campus, whether it's an internship or even something like volunteering, it's really very important that you come talk to us first. And we will go over all of your options and see how we can make it work for you. We want to make it work for you, especially if it applies to your academic program. We will do everything we can to make that work. But you do need to have special permission from OIS if you're going to be working off campus. That includes UPMC facilities. The other thing to keep in mind is that you do have some reporting requirements for us. So the most common one is a change of address. We will email you about this roughly once a year to make sure we have your address. But if you move at any other time, you are obligated by law to report that to us within 10 days. So I would say, in general, just read your emails from our office. It's really important because that's how we communicate with all of the students that we have. At any given time, we're working with 3,000 to 4,000 students enrolled in classes and they've been graduated. So our best form of communication is email, and we do need you to read those. Sometimes those emails ask for you to do something and report to OIS. That's going to be really important. The way we do that is through My OIS. You should be familiar with this. You should have used it in order to get your I-20 from us. It is a service center. We use it to maintain your immigration record. We use it to work with you on requests. So you'll submit a request and we will go in there and look at it and process it. This is separate from our main OIS website. We're going to be showing you the OIS website a little bit later in this presentation, but My OIS is the service center. I encourage you to become familiar with it, poke around in there, see what options there are for you in either the F1 or the J1 section. Most of what we are going to collect from you will go through there. So feel free to explore. Sometimes you'll find when you click on a specific request, there's a lot of actual information about that topic, not just something for you to submit. So you can't really mess anything up. Just go in there and explore a little bit. You'll find quite a bit. It is really important right now during this time that we know where our students are. And that's been surprisingly difficult. So of course, when everything happened in 2020, a lot of our students stayed and a lot of our students left the country and went home. And it's been challenging to find out where everyone is. And yet it's really important to know where you all are. So you may get a request from us asking to tell us where you are. Are you inside? Are you outside? My apologies if it's duplicative. If you've already submitted your address form and now we're asking you where you are, thanks for your patience. We just really want to know where everyone is so that we can understand how to work with you on your record. The last thing I want to say is that our immigration specialists work on a portfolio model. So they're going to be talking to each of you. They're going to introduce themselves. In general, the best way to contact them is through their personal email, which you can find on our website, and we'll show you that later. You can also email our general box, ois@pitt.edu. Now, some of you have been using OIS new at pitt.edu. That's for our new students coming, about to be coming into the country. Once you're here, you'll use ois@pitt.edu. You will probably get a little quicker service if you email your immigration specialist directly. So I would encourage you to do that. And then we are holding appointments. They're phone or Zoom appointments right now, but we are holding appointments while we all work from home. So that's how you can contact us if you need to have maybe a little bit more face-to-face time with your immigration specialist. Okay, so those are the highlights very quickly. I'm going to ask our immigration specialists and our assistant director to go through and introduce themselves now. And they're going to be sharing a little bit about themselves and also a little bit about some good resources that you might be able to take advantage of that we think would be helpful to you. Okay, Susannah, why don't you go first?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Susannah Diemer. I'm an immigration specialist here at OIS. I feel like I've definitely talked to a few of you so far, so it's good to be here together this morning. Like I said, I'm an immigration specialist, and the schools that I work with are the School of Engineering, the School of Dental Medicine, the Graduate School of Public and International Affairs, and the School of Law. So if you're in any of those schools, please feel free to reach out to me through email, or you can always schedule an appointment with me, and I love to talk with you about any kind of questions that you have about your immigration and other kinds of concerns. And as far as the resources on campus that I would recommend, when I was asked this question, I immediately thought to recommend the library. I'm actually a Pitt alum myself. I did my undergrad and graduate studies at the University of Pittsburgh. And one thing that I used very consistently throughout my whole time at Pitt was the library. We have a wonderful library system, lots of great resources there, just in terms of finding materials for any kind of studies or research that you're working on. It's very helpful for that purpose. And one of the other reasons that I was thinking of that it's really helpful is just locating resources. And I'm actually going to put a couple in the chat that aren't necessarily academic related. I'm putting one academic and one non-academic related resource in the chat. I think I should send that to the panelists. There we go. So the first one is a resource on just any kind of assistance resources in Pittsburgh. So that's just a great place to start if you're new to Pittsburgh and you might be looking for, how to get connected to resources around housing or food or anything like that. If that could be useful to you, there's just a lot of really great ways to kind of explore that page and look around. And another page that I think can be really useful, particularly just for students who may be new to the US system of education. And, one of the first things that you'll hear in a lot of your classes is about, how to potentially write papers and avoid plagiarism and things like that. So I also linked the LibGuide to academic integrity. So those are just a few of the really awesome resources that the library offers. You can also schedule appointments with librarians there to help, navigate a lot of things on campus. So if I were going to pick a resource, I would definitely pick the library. So that's a little bit about me. I'm really happy to be here this morning, and I'm happy to get to know more of you all as the semester continues.
Hi all, my name is Jean Wenner and I'm also an immigration specialist in the OIS. Welcome to all of you. We're so glad that you're coming to the university and you're joining us here for the spring semester. So my portfolio of schools are the School of Computing and Information, the School of Social Work, the School of Nursing, and the School of Education. So if any of you are students in those schools, again, please feel free to reach out to me by email or schedule an appointment with me, and we're happy to address any questions that you have. So my recommendation for a really helpful resource on campus is actually the Counseling Center. And so the Counseling Center offers many different resources, not just, counseling or therapy. Although they do those things, they have a lot of different resources to offer you. There are online resources that can help with stress management. And of course, this is a really stressful time right now. There's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of stressful things that are happening in this world right now. So it's not just handling your coursework and things like that, which we know are already stressful. And then you have to also think about the things that are happening on a day-to-day basis in this like ever-changing world and immigration, world that we live in right now. So keep in mind that these resources are available to everyone, and that they have the online resources. They have something called a virtual wellness workshops, which are again online. They have things that can help you with stress management, but they can also help just with time management and helping to think through things, problem solve and things like that. There is also something called free consultations, or Let's Teletalk is what it's called. And these are free consultations for enrolled students that are, again, completely confidential. And that's really important to the counseling center, that the things that you're talking about are in confidence. And so anything that you are dealing with, the counseling center is there to help. So I strongly encourage anyone and everyone to reach out to that resource because it's here for you. So now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Kaylie.
Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin Dawson. I too am an immigration specialist here at OIS on the student team. My portfolios are the College of General Studies, Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences, the Graduate School of Public Health, the School of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences, the School of Medicine, and the School of Pharmacy. I'm glad to welcome all of you here. If you're in any of those schools or colleges, feel free to contact me if you have questions. My on-campus resource that I'd like to bring to your attention is one that I think you might find really handy kind of at any point in your academic career. I just put the link below. It is the Pitt Writing Center. And this is a center that is available to both undergraduate and graduate students. And it is something that, it's a tutoring center and kind of a coaching center to help students with their writing skills and support them in that academic pursuit. So I'd encourage you to take a look at their website to see the offerings they have. They're closed right now, but they will be, actually I think they reopened on the 9th. And they're available virtually during this pandemic time. So they can work with you one-on-one with your writing, and they also have group meetings. One thing that could be interesting for doctoral students later on is they have they call it Dissertation Camp to support students whose proposals have been accepted, and to support them as they are writing their dissertations. And another thing that is really cool is they have monthly international cafe, which is specifically for international students, for conversation and discussion on a English writing topic. So take a look at their website. These are being held virtually right now, and that's a great way to improve your English or refine your English skills and refine your writing skills. It's for any student. and also meet some people, so I'd encourage you to check that out as a cool resource anytime during your academic career. So next, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Kaylie. And welcome again, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is Kaylie Rush. I go by she, her pronouns. I am the new student specialist in the office, so I work primarily with our new incoming students. So it's very likely that the I-20 that you have, the first I-20 that you have from Pitt was issued by me. Or if you're a new student and you've been emailing OIS New, I'm likely the person who has been answering your questions. So I know it has been a very difficult, challenging time as a new student especially. So, welcome, and I'm happy to be able to talk to you all at this point. So Pitt and OIS, we're really committed to upholding a community that is inclusive, that is civil, and respectful. So one resource that I wanted to touch on was our LGBTQIA+ resources. So if you or someone you love, maybe it's a friend or a family member, is a part of the LGBTQ community, know that at Pitt we have a number of resources that can be helpful for you. So I'm going to link the Student Affairs website, which leads directly to a number of resources we have for the LGBTQ community. So some of these resources include student organizations that you can join that aid the LGBTQ community and include the LGBTQ community. There's some health services there, campus safety. If you are part of this community and you are facing some difficulties while on campus, maybe you're not feeling safe, there's some resources that can help you out there. And there's plenty of other resources there as well. So specifically transgender resources, if that applies to you or someone that you love. And there's actually also a map provided on the website that will give you kind of a list of all of the restrooms on campus that are not gendered. So if that is a concern of yours, you can certainly take a look at that as well. Pitt is a very welcoming and inclusive environment, and our offices as well. So know that if you are on campus, or even if you're not on campus, you are always welcome and cared for and supported for. So that's everything for me. Welcome again, and I'm going to pass this along to my colleague, Leanne.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Leanne Johnson. I'm the Assistant Director of the Student Team, and I will be helping the immigration specialists with the important work that they do. I will also be working with students in the College of Business Administration and the Katz Graduate School of Business. I'm very delighted to be here at the University of Pittsburgh and just wanted to extend a warm welcome to all of you. One of the resources that I wanted to mention to you is the University of Pittsburgh Police Department. This office provides protection to the campus 24 hours, and they police and patrol the campus by car, by foot, by bicycle, and by motorcycle. The police department is a very helpful and important resource for students, and if you ever have any questions or concerns whatsoever, they strongly encourage you to reach out to them for assistance, and the numbers are provided on their website. Just a few of the resources, the helpful services that this office provides are, they have a safe rider program that you can call late at night or very, very early hours in the morning and get a safe ride. You can request that from this office. They also have emergency phones scattered throughout the campus. There are about 500 blue phones altogether. So if you have an emergency, there's quick access for assistance with those phones that are available. This office also coordinates the Lost and Found program. So if you lost a laptop or left it in the library, you can reach out to this office to see if they have it available. They also have a registration system where you can register if you have a bicycle or your laptop or cell phone. You can register this equipment with the police department so that should it ever be lost or stolen, it may be recovered more quickly and easily if you are able to get it registered. Another service this office provides, they have an emergency notification service and a crime alert service as well for students. All students are automatically registered by email for these two services, but you can also register to receive text alerts. And again, visit the website for details. A couple of really helpful publications that the police department provides for the students are, they have a tips for safer campus guide on their website that I really encourage you to review. There's a lot of very good, helpful tips there. Also, they have a wonderful guide. It's called For Safety's Sake. It's a 2020 Security and Fire Safety Report that has a lot of very good, helpful information in there as well. So once again, I just wanted to welcome you to the University of Pittsburgh. We are very excited to have you and look forward to serving you.
Thanks, everyone. I'm going to turn it over to Katie Von Lehman. She is our Assistant Director for Outreach and Programming, and she wants to go over not only her favorite resource, but also a lot of programming and outreach opportunities for you to engage in, whether you're in the country or outside the country. Thanks, Katie.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. I am the Assistant Director for Outreach and Assessment, and so I'm going to talk to you about some of the different ways to get involved and make connections in our community. And I'm also going to show you our website. So in case you have not spent a lot of time on there yet, we're going to go through it a little bit together. So the first thing I want to talk about is my favorite resource, which is actually something called Namecoach. And for those of you who haven't heard about this, it's something you can search for in My Pitt, but it allows you to record how you would pronounce your name. It allows you to give any history behind your name, what the meaning of your name is, if you want to, a personal story about the name. And it's really helpful not only for you to be able to share your information with other people, but also for you to listen to how other people pronounce their names as well. And so I know that all of us in OIS and many, many people around the Pitt campus really want to make sure that you feel as welcome here as possible. And so a lot of times the first way that we can do that is by pronouncing your name correctly. You do not want us to say your name wrong for the next several years of your life. So if you could share that information on Namecoach, that would be wonderful. And we really enjoy reading all of those things that you guys post as well. So now I'm going to talk about outreach. I wanted to say that in OIS, we have several social media accounts. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter, and we also have a YouTube channel where you can see some different videos that we do. We have, on our YouTube channel, we have some of these sessions, like this session will be on our YouTube channel in a day or two. But we also have some of our extended orientation sessions that Dilo mentioned, as well as just some fun things. For example, in the fall, I did a cooking demonstration of my Grandma Dot's Thanksgiving stuffing. So I encourage you to look at all of those things. And if you are curious, I'm just going to hold this up. Our handle for all of those things is OIS Pitt. So if you search OIS Pitt, you're going to find us. And as I show you our website, I'll show you where to find those things in case you forget as well. Some of the events that we have planned coming up, we have, starting next Friday, we're going to be doing weekly OIS coffee hours, where each week we're going to have a different OIS staff member come and just share their experiences, answer your questions about living in the United States or living in Pittsburgh, some questions about the Pitt community as well. The nice thing about our staff is that we really have a diverse amount of experiences. So many of us have lived in different parts of the United States. Many of us have lived in different countries. Some of us have studied as undergraduates at the University of Pittsburgh. Some of us have done grad programs there. So we can really talk about a number of different things in our community and from our experience. And again, this is a great way for you to share your experience and things that you're looking for in your time at Pitt as well. The other weekly program that we do is called Watch Party Wednesday. And every Wednesday night at 7 p.m., and again, I don't know if we're going to start this next week or the week after, but we all get together and watch a movie together online. And so we have done a number of different wonderful movies over the course of the past year. And a lot of them are from different countries. And so when students come in, they're able to talk about whether or not this is something that is common in their country or just to a certain area of their country that these different movies represent. My favorite was we actually did The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. And that's about a man in Malawi. And we had a woman from the African Studies program who spent time in Malawi come and talk about her experiences. She actually knew some of the people involved in the true story of this man. And it was wonderful hearing her talk about what was happening in the movie versus what she experienced. And so we really love to see people participate in those programs as well. And then one thing that we have on a more monthly basis is our Experience America Lunch and Learns. And these are really events for you to get to know more about the United States. So for example, we did one in the fall on how to dress for winter in Pittsburgh. Another one we did on US elections. So we try to use those times to really talk about things that you might be interested in learning about our culture in the United States. And then one special series of events that we are planning this spring with the Global Hub and the Center for Creativity is a series on storytelling and the different ways that cultures do storytelling. So for example, the one I'm most excited about is we're trying to get a totem pole artist to come and talk about how he decides what images go on the totem pole and how those tell the stories that he's trying to tell. So we're really excited about that, and there's going to be more information coming out about that soon. But the one thing I will say is that if there are events that you're particularly interested in or want to see or want to participate in help planning, please let us know. We had 1 month in the fall where an international student wanted to do science fiction films. And so they asked to partner with us for the student group that they were in. And we were able to do a month of science fiction movies with that student organization, which was wonderful. And so, again, if there are things that you are interested in and would like to talk to me about it, I would love to hear those ideas. So now I am going to show you our website, and you'll be able to see some of the things that I'm talking about. So I'm going to share my screen and go through this. Okay. So here is our website, and I'm not going to show you everything, but I do encourage you to go through the website when you can, and just spend a little bit of time getting to know where things are, just in case you need them in the future. The first thing I'm going to show you is under About OIS, and going to our staff. So if you ever forget who your immigration specialist is, you can always go here and you can see, I'll use Leanne as an example, her schools are listed here on the side. So you can always find your schools and which immigration specialist you would like to connect with. All of our email addresses are on here as well. What you will see as you look at all of these is a little microphone, or I guess that's a speaker, I'm sorry, a little speaker next to our names. This will actually take you to that Namecoach application that I was talking about, where you can see information about our names and hear us pronounce them. You also will be able to schedule an appointment right here with your immigration specialist. And so this is a nice way for if you need to contact your immigration specialist for you to find out all the information that you need to. In addition, we have our events tab here, and you can see the first event on here is the one that you're currently attending. But if you go down, you can also see different events that are happening on campus that we thought that you might be interested in, and the events that we were talking about earlier, such as the coffee hours. When you go to see the coffee hours, for example, you can see who the staff member is for that week and a little bit of information about them. But we will also send you information about our events in the weekly Top 5 Tuesday email that you're going to get. But you're able to search for events by type. So if you just want to see information sessions, things like that, you can. Under the Outreach tab, this is where, again, you can find information about our social media and different events that are happening on campus. But I wanted to show you this resource list specifically. This is where you can find a lot of different resources in case there's information that you need to know. So you can search by category to find information about different topics that you're looking for. So for example, if you have children with you here in the United States, then you can look up schools and childcare information here under the resource section. The news section, this is where we're going to put information that is coming up that we think is of particular importance to you. And so sometimes, for example, this proposed rule for duration of status, there's a lot of information here with links to different places. And so you might get an email that simply says, there's information here on our website about this topic. So you can go there and find that information yourself. And that allows us to keep this page most up to date instead of continuing to send you emails. Fact sheets is just a different a list of all of our handouts that are available for you. So again, you can sit there and say, I just want to know about employment options, and it will just show you different things related to employment. So this is a quick way for you to access our handouts. And then lastly, this spring 2020 section is not something we typically have, but this is related specifically to questions related to immigration and in the time of COVID. So if you have questions, for example, about, you know, what if I need to take less than full time, but I'm outside the United States, things like that. There are all these different questions here for you to review and find answers to your questions. At the bottom of every page, you will see that you can schedule an appointment, log into My OIS, or attend an event, and those will take you directly to the places that you need to go. So if you need to schedule an appointment, again, you can go right here and it will take you to how to schedule an appointment with us. So anyhow, that is our website. And like I said, you don't have to remember everything that I just showed you, but I just wanted to go over it quickly with you so that you could find things more easily in the future. And that is a wonderful resource for you if you have time to play a little bit with it and just look around. But now I am going to reintroduce Dilo, who is going to talk with you a little bit more. Thank you and welcome.
Okay. I see that there are some questions in the Q&A, and we may not be able to get to all of them. After the meeting officially ends, we can stay on for a few minutes to answer some of them, but if you don't get your questions answered, please do reach out either to your immigration specialist or email OIS, or if you are a new student, oisnew@pitt.edu. So we did not want to end today's session without at least mentioning the state of the political situation here in the US. I know all of you have heard about the invasion of our Capitol building last week from people who were attempting to stop the certification of the election of Joe Biden as our next president. We also are hearing reports from the FBI and from others that there are continuing threats against both the nation's capital and there are threats of violence in all of the state capitals between now and Inauguration Day. We want to assure you that this is a political fight. It's not a fight against private citizens. It's not a fight against those of us who walk around on the streets. It's a political fight. We have not seen, nor do we expect to see, any problems here in the Pittsburgh area. We're not a state capital, and we just don't expect that the fight will come to us. You may have already seen Chancellor Gallagher's remarks in which he strongly denounces the acts that were taken and holds the University of Pittsburgh up as a, quote, beacon to light the path toward a better future. And that's what we all hope for. We do expect a better future. We fully anticipate that President Biden will be inaugurated on January 20th. And we also expect that the perpetrators of the violence to date will be arrested and brought to justice. We do believe, for those of you who are wondering and speculating, we do believe that President Biden's administration will be a much more welcoming one than what we've had in the last 4 years. They recognize the value and importance of both diversity and of international exchange. President Biden-elect has on numerous occasions talked about immigration and how we need to be much more open than we have been in the last 4 years. So we are hopeful. We have great hopes for renewed stability and for much better relations with our international community in the next 4 years from the administration. And of course, we here at Pitt have always been welcoming, and we love having an international community, and we recognize and value that diversity and the great advocacy that you all do here and what you bring to campus, and we appreciate that. And that goes from people that work at Pitt, but also the administration of Pitt. Again, as you know, in addition to the political situation, the COVID-19 has wreaked havoc on all of our lives in the last year. We at Pitt and at OIS have tried very hard to provide all of our students with the best possible services and experiences that we could. And we recognize that it hasn't been ideal in many cases. We are well aware that all of you could have chosen any number of universities to attend, both here in the US and really around the world. We are extremely grateful that you chose us. We're very happy to have you here. And in order for us to do our jobs as well as we can and continue doing that, we need to know what you think and what we could and should be doing differently. So to those of you who are returning students, we really hope that you will take the time to complete the International Student Barometer. Katie has just shared her screen with that information. This is a survey that we do in conjunction with a company that does surveys at universities around the world. And then we're able to compare the results at Pitt with the results from all around the world. And we're able to make some changes to what we do depending on how you answered the questions and what you tell us. So we hope that you will take the time to complete that if you're a continuing student. Note that just for completion, you'll have a chance to win either $250 or an iPad. And all you have to do is take the time to complete the survey. If you're a new student, unfortunately, this survey doesn't apply to you, but we do want to know what you think as well about your experiences so far. Please let us know that by emailing ois@pitt.edu. Okay, this concludes our program this morning. Again, thanks so much for joining us. I will stay on for another 10 minutes or so. We have another meeting at 10, but I can answer some of your questions in the Q&A if you want to stick around. And again, if we don't get to you, then please do reach out to your specialist or to ois@pitt.edu or oisnew@pitt.edu. Thanks again and have a great day, great evening, and we hope to see you soon.